Tonight, we're following breaking news out of the CDC where top officials are resigning en masse after sudden changes to COVID vaccine policies were announced earlier today. This afternoon, the FDA approved the COVID vaccine for the fall, but restricted who is eligible to receive it.
Breaking news tonight. The CDC is in turmoil. Top officials are resigning en masse after shocking changes to U.S. COVID vaccine policies. What's really going on here? Let's break it down.
In a reversal of long-standing policy, the FDA now says that the vaccine that has saved millions of lives in this country and around the world is only recommended for adults 65 and older, plus kids and adults with underlying health conditions. Now, this is the narrowest group of people granted access since the vaccines first became available. Remember that back in the early 2021, late 2020 period. Hours after that decision was announced.
So let's get this straight. The FDA just restricted COVID vaccines to adults over 65 and those with health conditions. That's the narrowest access since vaccines were first released. And right after that decision, CDC leadership imploded.
The Washington Post reported that Susan Menarez, the director of the Centers for Disease Control, was ousted after just weeks on the job. She'd been Senate confirmed. Although to be absolutely clear, her lawyers say she has not yet resigned, nor has been officially fired. Quoting from the Post, Menarez was ousted after she faced pressure to change vaccine policy. Several senior CDC officials announced their resignation shortly thereafter, plunging the public health agency into turmoil. Post says Menarez declined to sign off on changes to COVID vaccine policy without first consulting with her advisors. The Trump administration, in turn, accused her of disloyalty. In her resignation letter, one of Menarez's deputies wrote, quote, "For the good of the nation and the world, the science at CDC should never be censored or subject to political pauses or interpretations. Vaccines save lives. This is an indisputable, well-established scientific fact." The director of the National Center for Immunization and Respiratory Diseases also resigned tonight, writing, quote, "I am not able to serve in this role any longer because of the ongoing weaponizing of public health. CDC staff continue to shine despite this dark cloud over the agency and our profession."
And here's the kicker. CDC Director Susan Menarez was pressured to change policy. And when she refused to rubber stamp reckless directives, she was pushed out. One resignation sparked another, leaving the nation's top public health agency in chaos.
Yeah, it seems like a dream realized for Secretary Kennedy. For a decade, he has been saying that he wants to dismantle CDC. Specifically, he has called CDC scientists Nazis. He has said that they abuse children like the Catholic Church priests abuse children. He has called them evil. Every name in the book, he has villainized these people. And after the shooting in August at CDC headquarters, he, said, my heart's with you, but couched a lot of his language. Now, alternately, the people who showed up at that meeting, at this all-hands meeting, was Susan Menarez and three of the people that also quit today, the center directors that quit today. So these are the people that were really holding the CDC together. These are the people that all of the scientists said, as long as these folks are still there, I can work. And I've been on the phone with a dozen people at the CDC right now, and they've told me things like, who is going to want to work at the CDC now? They said they don't trust the information that's going to come out of them, and they don't feel like there's any bulwark left. Someone said to me, there's no one left. And this feels like a very, very important moment where Kennedy has seemingly gotten rid of any limits on his power and his anti-vaccine obsession.
This isn't just a staffing shakeup. Reporters say it's the culmination of Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s decade-long crusade against the CDC. He's vilified scientists, and now, with Trump's backing, he's finally reshaping vaccine policy from the inside.
This is not an agency that deals with widgets. This is an agency that deals with health and life. And when the CDC doesn't get it right, a lot of people die. And when you lose your brain talent, a lot of people are going to die. I don't know how else to put it. I know the three people who have now resigned. They were all essential during the COVID fight. Dr. Daskalauskas was the point person on mpox, monkeypox. Deb Hurry would constantly be providing us with great guidance on where we needed to go on so many different issues involving disease. You just don't get rid of people like that and say you're going to replace them. It's, I don't get it. It doesn't make sense, and America's going to feel the pain.
I mean, it does seem to me, Brandy, like that, again, based on what we can tell from the public reporting and from the statements put out by these people, talking about weaponization of health.
Think about the consequences. When the CDC loses its best scientists, America loses its safety net. These are the people who led us through COVID, mpox, and more. Now, public health is being replaced by politics.
There was a decision made at the highest political level to restrict the COVID vaccine because that was something that had been promised, because that is an ideological axe that Kennedy's been grinding. It's part of Trump's coalition. And that the scientists said there's no scientific reason to do that. And that's what brought us to where we are now.
It certainly seems that way. I think what I've been told is that we'll hear more from these folks who have resigned in the coming days. So it'll be interesting to hear what exactly pushed them out, specifically beyond their general complaints that they stated very clearly that he is a threat to public health, that he doesn't listen to the science. We just really have to wait and see. But I will say that there's something, I think there is a glimmer of hope in here, if I can be so bold
Please.
to offer some. And it's that these 3 and maybe more resignations that came in the letters that came with it, this is a coordinated effort from some very, very intelligent, dedicated to public health folks. And so they have done this seemingly together and coordinated with each other. And I don't think we've seen the last of them. The people that I talked to that worked for them are certainly hoping that's the case. That's the hope that they're sort of clinging to at this moment.
And let's be clear, there's no scientific reason to restrict vaccines this way. This was political. And tonight, the scientists who refuse to bend are walking away.
We're in trouble. This is deep doo-doo, and it's all a man-made disaster. Get ready. This is about saving lives.
So here we are. The CDC gutted, top experts gone, vaccine policy hijacked. Scientists are warning this is a man-made disaster. And if another pandemic comes, America might not be ready. This is about lives. This is about trust. And right now, both are on the line.